House Speaker Ryan holding a 2-hour closed-door immigration meeting with congressional Republicans today. The lame duck rhino more concerned with, well, a process to cover what he's really doing for his corporate masters, the establishment, rather than the prospect of actual open discussion. He wants to legalize, just like his masters, amnesty for 1 million or more illegals.
You know, one of the things that I don't like about this job is how things just flow up to leadership to make big decisions, how we too often centralize power around here. I'm happiest when the members, not the leaders, when the members are making policy decisions, going through the committee process. I'm happy that we have had this process on display this morning in our conference.
The technical term for what you just heard from Ryan's mouth is pure bull. I mean, he thinks he's selling that nonsense. He hasn't had regular order. He hasn't invited discussion or debate on legislation, and he can barely get legislation through. And oh, by the way, he forgot to get a budget during his term as Speaker. With leadership like his, the Republicans don't need an opposition party. They have within their own ranks the seeds of their own destruction, and that is what will follow them into the midterm elections unless they get rid of this rhino lame duck and embrace the Trump agenda. Joining us tonight, Jessica Vaughan, Director of Policy at the Center for Immigration Studies. Jessica, great to see you. The numbers look terrible coming from the border right now. What in the world is going on? We have more Border Patrol agents. We have a president who has freed them up to do their jobs. What's happening?
Well, one of the things that's happening is talk of amnesty with this rogue group of Republicans kind of holding a gun to their colleagues in the House Republican caucus, hell-bent on passing a huge amnesty. We know from experience that's what's causing a lot of this influx. The other problem is that there is still a catch-and-release policy where people can just show up, especially with children, and ask for asylum, and we don't send them back. We're letting caravans of people in here to the country to stay for an indefinite time.
And even as we understand, and our Border Patrol agents understand, they're being lied to by schooled and trained illegal immigrants who are playing the U.S. refugee system. I want to put up a full screen just to show folks how bad it's gotten at the border here in May, the month of May. Border apprehensions of family units crossing the border illegally up 435%. Minors, unaccompanied minors, up 329%. I mean, Jessica, this thing is out of control. And the Chamber of Commerce last night had the temerity to send out a letter basically ordering Congress to push for DACA amnesty and open borders. And among the demands from Tom Donahue and the Chamber, permanent amnesty for DACA recipients, ensure 350,000 non-DACA illegals retain work authorizations, protect work authorizations for spouses of H-1B visa recipients, and reject proposals to limit legal immigration. Your reaction to the arrogance of one of the country's biggest business lobby, who own, for example, Speaker Ryan and much of his leadership group.
They got to have their cheap labor, and they're willing to throw their money around to get it. And certainly right now, this small group of Republicans with the tacit approval of Speaker Ryan and maybe Majority Leader McCarthy are doing their bidding. They're holding a gun to the head of the majority of Republicans in the House and trying to force them into a deal that is not going to turn out well, for the American people. And they can get away with it because for too long, these members have done their bidding, and they're going to be first, they couldn't sell the majority of the caucus on these concepts for a bill, so everybody's waiting to hear the details, which they won't release, which is never a good scenario.
Did you hear Paul Ryan talking about he likes it when things bubble up in the House from the rank and file, the great unwashed on Capitol Hill?
But that's not what's happening here.
Of course it's not. I mean, he's lying through his teeth and selling that kind of nonsense to God only knows who, because it isn't the American people. They figured out who's doing what to them. Jessica, it's great to have you with us as always. Thanks so much.
Likewise. Thanks.
Jessica Vaughan.